So the idea is to kind of find and work with the structure of intent, both conscious intent and unconscious intent. What's occurring to me is it's like we can think of intent as being really deeply caught up in our emotions, our feelings, what we want, and oftentimes I will think of myself as having intent or not having intent, and the intent I don't have, I can still tend to manage my life around. Like I intend to drive safely, and it's just kind of how it goes. Or I intend to be kind, and that's just kind of how it goes. But there's, I think, something at work that is it's relevant to discuss regarding intention, is that there's intention, unconscious intentions created by memory and created by, like, actually shaped by the environment. And so even if it's not something that's ever been said to you, it could actually be created for you, kind of without even without the language for it. And so this is where it's like having language, it isn't so much a limitation, it's a tool to help describe the mechanisms of what's gone on around us. And with intent, because I've tried to like wash the memories, pray, manifest, visualize, imagine, be in all sorts of ways, in all sorts of states about things. But I don't know if I've ever fully released the possibility that it's not a fear or really even any other emotional or felt experience that has kept certain things in my life in obtuse ways or in ways that I just don't feel are optimal, but that it is the formation of intent that has kept things stuck or keeps certain uncomfortabilities going or makes for certain types of challenges that I would otherwise think that I have the experience to have learned either not to, or to do differently, or to do better, or that kind of thing. And so I'm not doing it such a great service as to the subtle sensation of it, or even if it's a mental thing, what that looks like. But the one thing that came through really clear, or that is coming through really clear right now for me, is that I think, or I feel as though I have had the intent to fail shaped in my life. And as much well-wishing effort or any number of other combinations of energy or thought or belief, not recognizing I was intent on failing is possibly a shortcut to a new solution, which, one, to recognize that this is something that may have been formed within me. Like, just like if someone says they have good intentions, it's, well, is good just the word, or is good a series of behaviors and actions that can't actually be put into word? Because, it's actually kind of complex to articulate everything in language. We can articulate more in movement and our material and spiritual senses than we can in word, which leads to the ineffability of miracles and those kinds of things. But what is coming through right now is that the shape, the structure of intention being created by the environment through memories, beliefs, stories, feelings, experiences, reflections, all of that, even the intent to remember, is all an aspect of the governing body of intention. And so to manifest or to visualize or to wish or be fulfilled or take discipline towards all of these things, one may have an intent to do that, and then may also have an intent, like as I mentioned, have an intent to fail, or one may have an intent to succeed at whatever they do, because that's what was shaped in their life. And so you can go back and you can look at memories, you can look at the nervous system, you can look at all sorts of things that show that level of integration or non-integration for those messages, for that circuit, for the communication internally, to provide the capacity both internally and externally to make those kinds of things happen. And so what I'm getting at in way too large, way too verbose terms is that intent has a very as it feels to me, it's almost rigid. It's almost rigid in how direct and precise and effective it can be as to the creation of our reality. And so this is where I think, like, generationally, where we can end up with a lot of, like, let's say generational trauma or transference between parties and people and parents, is that it's not just the words or the feelings or the personality characteristics, it's the intent that can end up being transferred, that can be transferred without words. And so the intent to harm, or the intent to heal, or the intent to be at peace. And again, I'm still at the beginning of the subject insofar as investigating it in this light. So it's not exactly perfectly clear if what it's capable of, or if it's capable of anything. But I figured to mention it because it's oftentimes we only look at intent as being a conscious fixture in our experience, in our daily experience, and how it shows up unconsciously could be a lot more relevant. And I mean, a part of this work that I'm doing, like before this and with this and after this, is to have the thought, get the feeling. What's the feeling? What's the stillness underneath the feeling? Can I get to the stillness? Oh, if I can't get to the stillness, well, then I've certainly gotten deeper in the feeling. So I'm probably deeper into my vagus nerve. I'm deeper into my subconscious. I'm working on integrating those things. The storied elements that seem to be presenting themselves through very cooperative external circumstances are all showing up. And so they're an aspect of that feeling continuing itself over and over and over again. And with that, what is the process of pure or singular intentions, and how those intentions can guide behavior? I don't know, I'm just going to say it to sound weird, but like trans-temporally. Like, so setting the intention to be kind, or setting the intention to be useful, or to be accommodating, or to be accommodated for, or, you know, and so you can get into a lot of polarities. But I think that the creativity is to find the ways in which intent can be formed that is not polarizing. And then if there is an encounter of polarity, that it be held, that you can work with others in that, both in projection or any way that it's showing up, to make it known without needing to be right, or I don't know, like that it be known as an aspect of truth and not as a moral declaration of truth, because I feel a lot of people got pretty beat up like that. Now I'm just getting to the point of rambling, but these are some thoughts about intention. It as I reflect on what I may have said, I don't know if I got too much color or too many like concrete examples in about what an unconscious intention might be and how it might affect everyday manifestation, everyday experience. And I guess it would be, in terms of an exercise, or at least what I feel I might be doing after this, an exercise or a thought that I might be carrying over is, what are things that have shown up in my life that, like beliefs, what are beliefs that have shown up in my life? What are experiences? What are thoughts? What are ways of behaving? Just the whole creation, all of it, that